Thank you to Chevron for supporting BrainCraft. All right, I have a question for you, so I want you to get ready, stretch your brain cells. Here we go. Can you name a living scientist? If you said yes, you're in the 19% of Americans who can. Now, can you name a living female scientist? Can you? You may not have heard of Elizabeth Blackburn or Lisa Harvey Smith or Mae Jemison, but I bet you've heard of fictional character Dana Scully. Now, Scully was a role model. Often fictional characters are cited as role models more than real-life scientists because we see them on our screens week after week. We connect with their story and we get a sense of what their jobs are really like. Now, Scully has been credited with what's known in research and fandom as the Scully Effect, where her strong-willed, intelligent character inspired a generation to pursue careers in STEM. A poll earlier this year found that nearly 2/3 of women that work in STEM say Dana Scully served as their role model. Wait, really? 2/3 of women who work in STEM? Perhaps, but this is the part where I become a little skeptical, because Scully herself would want the cold, hard facts. So, how strong is the Scully effect? And how important are role models to our success scientifically? Now, role models do show us who we can be. They give us goals and a path to reach them. And one interesting thing I found when I was researching this video is there are different types of role models. The most useful are positive role models, someone who looks like you, who has faced similar struggles, and who you can look up to. But there's also negative role models, people who show you what not to do. Like, I don't know, every Justin Bieber photo you've seen after 2014. While having a hero that looks like you isn't necessary for success, it helps, especially when you're trying to advance in school or your career. And if you can't find a positive role model who comes from a similar background, it can be harder to work around certain obstacles. Take Stereotype Threat as an example. Stereotype Threat is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where being afraid about conforming to stereotypes about your social group can hinder your performance. For example, if you tell a random group before a maths test that girls have historically done poorly on that test, the girls in the group won't do as well. If you tell another random group that usually everyone does poorly, boys and girls will perform about the same, like equally badly. Luckily, having strong role models that look like us can help reduce this effect. One study looked at what are called the Obama effect. Researchers gave a random selection of white and African American students verbal exams on several different days. Some days were right after some of Obama's biggest accomplishments, like his convention speech, and others were just random days. The study found that when Obama made a splash in the news for his accomplishments, black students performed significantly better. Simply knowing someone who looked like them was achieving great things was enough to combat the stereotype threat. Beyond that, role models in the media can inspire us to explore careers we hadn't previously considered. Now, seriously, I really want everyone watching this to be able to pursue a wide range of career options and other interests. But the reality is, women are significantly less likely than men to choose STEM majors. They then remain underrepresented in STEM degrees and then in the workforce. And improving these numbers is super important to me. So, to come back to the Scully effect. One study showed that women who had watched 8 or more episodes of The X-Files were 27% more likely to study STEM in college, and 50% more likely to work in a STEM field. Now, it could just be that girls interested in STEM were also more likely to be interested in The X-Files, which is definitely true in my case. But that doesn't mean that having Scully as a role model wasn't helpful. And there are many more female characters that have been identified as role models in research. Temperance Brennan from Bones, Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy, Amy Farrah Fowler from The Big Bang Theory, and Doc McStuffins from Doc McStuffins. The Scully effect is so ubiquitous because it really encompasses the positive impact of all of these characters. And it sounds a lot cooler than the Doc McStuffins effect. But we need more Dana Scullys. It's so important to have strong STEM characters in films and television, but a recent study found that only 37% of STEM character portrayals are female. So look, I'm just gonna say it. We need more Doc McStuffins. Having representation in media can inspire lots of people to pursue careers in STEM, not just women.
There is always one moment that I go back to that I can't even remember what year it happened, but I can never forget the picture on my television. It was when Sally Ride was on Sesame Street, the astronaut. She did this like amazing A is for astronaut, completely cheap special effects, like rocket launch her into the sky. And I don't know, blew me away for some reason, seeing that, I think because she looked like my mom. And it was the first time that I realized that my mom was actually a scientist too, and not just my mom.
And Joe segues perfectly into my last point. Our parents are super important. In one study that asked kids who their role models or heroes are, only about 1/3 of kids said their parents. And I'm telling you, it should probably be higher. In addition to having role models in the media, girls and women in particular are more likely to pursue a career in STEM if they have teachers, friends, and family members who encouraged them to pursue science, or technology, or engineering, or mathematics. So whether it's Elizabeth Blackburn, or Neil deGrasse Tyson, or your mum, it certainly helps to have a hero to light the way. Thanks to Chevron for supporting BrainCraft. Part of Chevron's commitment to education is the STEM Zone initiative. It's a physical space that travels to community events to get students excited about STEM and to encourage them to pursue courses and careers in STEM. So far, the initiative has reached more than 900,000 students, parents, and teachers. To learn more about future locations or to get downloadable STEM resources, you can visit chevronstemzone.com. Thanks.